This Reddit thread that was read in this podcast, very interesting. Super interesting. I want you all to listen. Let's watch it all together, then we'll talk about it.
Yesterday, I was preparing dinner. Caesar. Yesterday, I was preparing dinner. My husband was stepping out to run an errand, and I asked him to pick up an avocado to add to our dinner. He said okay and left. He got back. Dinner was almost ready, and I asked him for the avocado. His response was, "Where would I have gotten the avocado from?" He followed up by saying that avocados are out of season in our country and everyone knows this. I said, oh, okay, and nothing else. Fast forward a few minutes later, I'm putting our kids' plates together and he comes back into the kitchen saying he's going out to look for the avocado. I insist that it's not necessary and the food is ready anyway. The avocado wasn't an integral part of the meal, just a nice add on. He persisted that he was leaving and took off. I waited for about an hour, getting increasingly irate with the whole scenario. Early on in the day, my best friend had messaged me to see if I was up to get a drink later that night. His work was him constantly traveling, and so far I've only seen him once this year. Oh, so the friend is a guy. That's a guy. Yeah. Okay. We'll be leaving again in a few days, and I wouldn't be back in the country till the next year. Decided to follow up with my friend and arranged to get out of the house for a few hours. My husband came home after almost 2 hours after he left with no avocado and said nothing to me about it. I asked if he was going to eat dinner. He said yes, and I told him that his food was in the microwave. At this point, it was about 7 p.m. He came into the bedroom just a few minutes later. He didn't eat his food, by the way. I shower and start to dress up and then ask him what was that whole situation about the avocado. He then makes a big deal about how everyone is aware that avocados are not in season, except me, of course. And of course, as we were speaking, he noticed that I'm getting dressed and asked, "What's that about?" I let him know. What's that about? I let him know that I'm heading out, and this opens a huge can of worms. I'm being disrespectful by not giving him him appropriate notice, and this is not the behavior of a wife. What? Basically proceeds to call me a bad wife and I'm not submissive. I did feel as though he was intentionally arguing me, either to stop me from leaving or to make me really late. By the time I'm about to leave, it's 9 p.m. I tell him I'm leaving and he dismisses me. I left with an Uber, which he was aware of. I met up with my buddy, who is also married and has become friends with my husband since we got together. Okay. We had a decent time, and by 12 a.m., I tell him I need to get back, and he offers to drop me at home. I call my live-in nanny and tell her I'm on my way home so she can unlock the door when I get there. She lets me know that my husband stepped out after I left and has locked up the front door and the main gate to access the house. I start to call him and he doesn't answer. I called about 10 times back to back, no response. On the 11th try, the phone goes straight to a busy signal and stays that way for the next 10 or so minutes. Stop! Literally about 10 minutes before my buddy and I reach the house, he calls back. I let him know I'm trying to get in. He's asked how long till I get there, and I say 10 minutes. My friend and I sat in his car outside for almost an hour before my husband arrives. Neither of us say a word to each other and go to bed. The morning he approaches me to basically get an apology out of me for my behavior. According to him, I try to use the issue with the avocado as a smokescreen to go out and do what I please. Smoke screen! He said that he has no way of knowing what or who I was with before I met up with my friend. Never mind that, as far as he knew, I was using an Uber to get home and would have had to be out on the street for almost an hour at 1 a.m. Yeah, exactly. We have been together for 8 years, married for 5. We have 3 kids, 7, 6, and 3. Wow. Am I the arsehole for meeting up with my childhood best friend for 3 hours without giving my husband prior notice?
So the question is she the AO for not telling her husband that prior to her going out to meet her childhood best friend? This man. Something that got more interesting was one of the comments I saw on this video, because while they were reading the old, story, I went to the comment section and I saw someone, a guy, of course, he was like, as a married woman, you shouldn't be going out of the house or go to a night out with your friend Why should you do that as a married woman? My question is, why is it that when men go out and enjoy themselves, it's always like cruise, it's always like, vibes on vibes. But when the same married women go outside to enjoy themselves, it's a big issue. It's like, why would you do that? You're a married woman. Don't you know you are married? Why would you go out with a guy? Why would you do this? Why will you anger at night till the time you're coming back home? But when the married man does this, it's like they didn't do anything wrong. It's like it's a norm. Like they're not questioned. They are not, everybody doesn't see anything wrong in what this man does. But let the woman do the same thing just for like 3 hours. She's a bad wife. She doesn't think. Why would she go out like that? She did not think about her children. She left her children alone. Blah, 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 blah. Her husband has not even eaten. She had the audacity to leave the house. And let's now talk about the avocado that he went out to buy. First, knowing that, I feel like, for me, this whole thing, I feel like there was already an underlying issue going on already with both of them in the house that they're not talking about, or probably both of them are just naturally pissed off at each other. Because I really don't understand why I will send you to go get avocado and you know that it's not avocado season. Probably I didn't know, and you'd be like, oh babe, it's not avocado season, where do you want me to get avocado from? But you went out, then came back and say, well, where would you're not asking me that, where do you I think that you get the avocado from? Really? Then you went out again and spent 2 hours. 2 hours without the avocado again, and you're saying that, where would you also get the avocado from? Like, to me, he went to see a girl, period, and he's having issues with his side chick. I feel like his side chick is breaking his heart, or he's seeing his side chick with another man, so he's angry and he's trying to put everything on his wife. Because I really don't understand why you are just being hard on your wife for no reason. And you see your wife dressing up, and you also went out, and I feel like he intentionally locked her out for that long, so that he wants to be like, whoa, so you can go out with your friend without telling me before now, blah blah blah. He's trying to get back at her. That is why he locked her out like that. And this whole scenario make me believe that, still believe this thing that marriage doesn't favor women at all. Whatever a man does in the marriage is perfect, is okay, there's nothing wrong with it. But when a woman take the same lead that this man is doing, there's always a problem. She's always having the consequences. Like, there's most always, the man cannot take it. They cannot take it. And not knowing that, you also know the friend that she hang out with, and you know that her friend is not always in town and all of that. And to think this woman might not even have been going out safe, or she might be a stay-home mom for a long time and just have the opportunity to go out, and there's a problem in the house. Why is it like that? Like, there's a lot of questions that needs to be answered, because when this man does these things, it's perfect and normal for them. And why are you just being hard on your wife for her not knowing that it's not avocado season? Why? And now he's expecting an apology from her because she's the one that did wrong. But if you ask me, I didn't see anything she did wrong. Maybe should have told him, if she had known that she was meeting the guy earlier that day, she would have told him, oh, this Saturday I might be meeting my friend. Not like when she was already dressing up. I feel like that one must have been wrong, depending on their relationship. But anyways, what's your take about the story? I just want to decide to share with you all in today's video. Okay, what is your take on this video? What you have to say and all of that? Kindly put your thoughts down in the comment section. All opinion are accepted if you put them down respectfully. And thank you so much for sticking around to this point, and I'll see you all in my next one.